Okay, we're live. And today we're drawing some weapons. So what do I have? I have my Miro board, which lists all the weapons that I need to make. I've got my old weapons for reference. And I've got my file. So first of all, let's resize this. 96 by 96, just so we have lots of space. And what are the rules here? I mean, it's not that it's not like they don't have to fit in a specific spot. So the pivot, I think, doesn't matter so much. I don't know. I'll have to see once I do the pivot. But for some reason, I've done it so that they end up facing sort of to the left. They should really be facing to the right. It feels more natural, but here's how we've done it. So I don't want to mess with that. So first one is Black Sword. And I think we are going to do a little bit of asset reuse here. I mean, can we even do this better? Like the handle. The thing is, we don't have a ton of pixels to work with, and it appears very small on the screen. So I don't know if I could just do some shading here. I mean, at the very least, you see how this already kind of becomes a more epic version. So in order to make this a bit more, and like we've just got 2 pixels there, and that is the right size. Maybe I should go higher resolution. In fact, I kind of just want to look at that now and just see how that appears. I just want to see what the character looks like with the weapon and just make sure, because I think the size is correct. So yeah, let's take Edgelord. Go and have a look. Literally just crammed a sandwich in my face because I wasn't sure if my wife was getting home. So I just ate a quick sandwich right at the last minute. Sword, do we have? No, okay, weapons. Okay. Yeah, that is correct. That is 1-to-1 pixel. So this pixel is the same size as this pixel, and I think that is correct. If we were to go higher resolution on the weapons, we should also go higher resolution on the characters. And you know what that means, redrawing everything, which right now sounds like a mega nightmare. A lot of it is design, which I've done, like sort of deciding what the character should look like. Discard changes. So, yeah. So for this sword, while I would love to have a more detailed handle, and this does feel incredibly basic, that's kind of what we've got. So the only difference here, I mean, I think I'm going to copy it 1-to-1. Like, I'm just going to make it black. So we go black and less black. That's just going to be like maybe it's a bit lazy. The thing is, I think most of the fun comes through in the characters, but really we don't actually have a lot of space to improve on this. There's a few things I could do, I guess, like just make this not a reskin. I mean, this is obviously, I mean, it is the same weapon. The goblins have a scimitar. I think I will do something a bit different, actually. I think I'm gonna make it double-edged rather than single-edged. I think that's better. I wonder if that should be the other way around. No. So we'll make it this tall. And I think the tip is, yeah, so let me delete these. So we'll take this color. Then we'll take that last color. Like that. Just to make it a bit different, but not remarkably different. So then we'll sort of do the same thing here. Yeah, so I'll just grab the tip. That's what she said. And these ones get longer and longer, so we should do the same thing. So yeah, actually, let's undo that a bit. And in each case, I just want to take the very top and put it there. Yeah, I'll do. And then just modify it. Let's do the same effects. So we take this color, put it there, there. And we take this, yeah, and there. And we take this color, put it all the way down. We'll skip the hole and we'll put like a skull on the hilt. So we won't do the hole. And yeah, we'll just do another line. I could do a bucket. And then we just need to do that same dot effect along, because I think it just makes it look sharp. I don't know, is it just distracting? I think it makes it look sharp. And so here's a little tip with burnout. Like when you've got a task that you want to do and that you need to do and you just don't want to do it, and you just want to do anything but, which is kind of where I'm at right now, is as I think I've said before, but just make it easy on yourself. Like, so my goal today is not to finish making all the weapons. It's not even to make all the weapons. It's to make a placeholder for each of the weapons. So my minimum that I want to achieve in today's session is, oh, this probably, yeah, you see that very faint, almost the same color. Yeah, what I want to achieve, if I tell myself I have to draw all the weapons, or I have to just like, then I'm not going to do it. Or, you know, maybe I will, because I'm a, you know, hardworking person, but part of me is going to just be like, oh, I don't want to. So as a long-term strategy, I just tell myself I'm going to do the absolute bare minimum. And then I won't be disappointed if I don't do it. And then it's kind of like, I think it's easier to do like a tiny amount of thing and then convince yourself to do a bit more than it is to just convince yourself to do a lot of things, I think. Okay. And so this is very close in design to the undead one, to the human one, and that's fine. And I think a little, how small can you draw a skull before it like stops being a skull? Like, that's not a skull. There's no way. So it would have to be... And then 2 eyes. Is that a skull? I think that's kind of... You could say that's a skull. And I'm not going to bother getting the exact level of off-white. I think we'll just... There we go. Bone. Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that's acceptable. That's a skull. That'll do. Okay. God, yeah, my standards for the expectations of art have gone up. Okay, so that is sword. Now we have impaler. Impaler. I'm going to go ahead and delete the old... No, I'll leave that for now. Impaler. So not a spear, but basically a spear. But this is for the sort of Vlad the Impaler thing, right? So I'm just gonna like, yeah. So if you type Impaler, you just get Vlad the Impaler. So there isn't a weapon called an Impaler, but we're talking about like a pike. So we can look at the spear for reference. And again, the spear is an incredibly simple looking thing. I mean, at this level of detail, there's not really a lot you can do to enhance the look of this, right? But if we're talking... So what is the Impaler... So there's more inspiration. Is what does the Impaler actually do? What is the difference between an Impaler and a spear? Well... The Impaler pulls enemies towards you. So straight away, we imagine a kind of like this, but in reverse. So like a kind of hook, but not yet. So so as it develops, so let's just copy all of these along. Not necessarily going to do it like that, although we might. And then when we get to this fork bit, I'm just going to turn it upside down. Like, not trying to break the mold here. Like that. What am I getting wrong here? Yeah, here. So we just have that shape instead. And then that gets bigger. So yeah, we'll just do it again. Let's take the whole thing. And we'll just take this. Can I just take this and flip? Oh, no, I just want just to the selection. I guess you can't just do it to the selection. So we'll just, I think it's just easier to redraw it. So we'll just go, but. And then we do. There. And then we can recolor it with this color. Color. What we should probably do, so I'm going to open up the characters again. The characters, black beans, because we actually have our color for dark iron, don't we? So it should be this. And then actually 43, 47, 49. Wait, we can do alpha. Okay. 43, 47, 49, 1. So we're going to manage this palette. We're going to make a new one. Was it RGB? 43, 47, 49. That is indeed the color. Yep. And so now over here, so if I save this, and then I think I'm going to have to reopen this. And now we have it. So that should be our color. Just so it's the same. And then the white, the light version of it, I guess we don't really have. We have a darker version. We don't have a lighter version. But I can sort of imagine this being, and then what would this be? It'd be like a sort of dark wood. I think it would be just darker. It would just be black. Yeah, let's just do that. Keep the handles. And just to kind of go easy on myself, while this is probably not the best I can do, the thing is we don't have a lot of pixels to work with, as I said. The joy in what happens in these sprites with the art here, I think, is more down to the variety of it. So yeah, I think that'll do. Scythe. Scythe, we don't have anything like a scythe. So I need to think about what kind of shape should this scythe have. You see the crossbow, like, it's kind of a lot more going on with the crossbow. But a scythe. So again, I know what a scythe looks like, but just for my visual inspiration. So we will go, I quite like the curvy shape. I quite like when a scythe has a curvy shape. You can, I am seeing some straight ones. So like, but not too big because we're already quite big. So like up, it's tempting to use the whole space that we have. But we go up like this, and then across like that, and then there's the blade. Bang. No. Okay, I'll fix that though. Bang. With a bit of a back to it. A bit less of a back to it. And then I'm going to be a bit cheeky and just copy this along. I think it could be the handle can be a bit bigger than that. So we go, no, what are you doing? What's this? Yeah, so the handle is too wide. But then would also be a bit down. I think there sort of makes sense, kind of has a natural shape. Although I might need to finesse that a bit. But so far so good. So let's finesse it and get put it in the middle, and I think that's a nice shape, right? And let's take our undead metal, and let's take our undead off metal, Where's the sharp bit on the side? I think it's at the top. The top and bottom. Yeah, that works. And then the handle, let's use this color that we did here. So this can be our sort of handle color. And that's a scythe. That's an undead scythe, right? Is that not a scythe? I think that's a scythe. We can have a little bit of... And I like the curviness to it. I think that's... I enjoy that. And then, yeah, basically, I need a break from drawing. So before drawing the demons, I am actually going to implement the undead. And I think that's going to be fun. I want to play as them, I want to play against them, and we're going to go back to gameplay and testing for a bit before we do this whole thing again with the demons. Okay, so where do we go from here? I think we follow the same pattern that we've been following for all of these types of weapons, is that we make it bigger, badder, and add handles. So at level 3, so where's the spear again? Well, yeah, here level 3 we add handles. So let's copy that and let's make this bigger and badder. Right, do you see how I did that? Bigger and badder. And sharper. So we'll do the same thing that we did with the sword. Right. We'll do the same thing we did with the sword, where I think this should go. I think it should be gone here as well. Makes it look sharper if we'd not got the corners. Wait, does this look better? I just want to experiment with something, just to make something look less sharp. You fill in the corners. So then there'd be no corners here. I think that kind of weirdly does work. I'm going to stick with that for a bit and see how far it gets me. So yeah, in this case we do fill in the corners on the bottom side, because we're just kind of saying, just by comparison, it's not that this wouldn't be sharp, but just by comparison it's less sharp. So yeah, the head's got a bit bigger, not too much. And we will dot the outside with a few of these. Just kind of gives it a bit of sharpness, or does it? I don't know. Does it just look weird? And then do it again, and now we'll do the handles. So the handles will be the same color. I'll take this one. Just need to get it once. And where would the handles be? Yeah. So it's actually lower down. So that actually we can put one here and one at the bottom. And then we take our other one, take our other handle color, we do it like that. And that just adds a little bit of detail, makes it look less lazy. Okay. And we want it to be bigger. And badder. Thing is, the player actually very rarely sees them side by side. It's an interesting one. I hate that N is making you frame because it's right next to B. Okay, and then a bit sharper. A bit more sharp. I'm not sure these like bits actually do very much. I mean, with the sword maybe it works, but I think with the scythe maybe it doesn't work. I don't do it with the axe, I've noticed. So I don't think I'm going to do it with the scythe. Let's see. Just fix that, easy fix. Bang, 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 bang. Right. And then finally, like, I mean, the final form, we could add like a little spike to the end. Again, let's cut the corners to look sharper. Just all in this color. And we just really make it bigger, badder, nothing too crazy. And yeah, I mean, I think this works. Yeah. I mean, I reckon a proper artist would have a lot to say about this. Wait a sec. Did I? Okay, let's take this. And then we go. Because I forgot to make it on a new layer. Layer, and then good, I've rescued it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Again, like I'm not gonna like expect myself to do it beautifully. Okay, scythe. Chris is easy. Chris is a wobbly dagger. No design work necessary. I'm just thinking about this. Okay, yeah, no, that is fine. Okay, so we'll just take our dagger. And as it evolve, so the handle doesn't evolve, we get a little blade at the back. That's kind of unnecessary. I think we can just make it bigger and bigger. So, new frame. Delete this. And copy our handle color just for consistency. and get our black. And go wibble. I think it should be somewhat methodical rather than purely by hand, and we'll do one wobble to begin with. I guess we'll probably need 2 wobbles, so let's go back and our tip, and then should that be like that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. Like I said, I've kind of told myself that I just want to do placeholders because I don't really have, like I'm burning my my sort of visual IQ down a little bit. And then can we do, if I do one on every step, it's gonna like, it's gonna not maybe that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funky looking, but... And then I kind of just want to extend it, so then we would just extend it, so... I don't know if that's the same anyway, but we just go wobble, 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 wobble. And I guess that's the rule, that's where it stops wobbling, so we go up with 3, and then back across. And here we are, we can do the tip. What's the tip look like? Kind of like, yeah. And then yeah. Nothing crazy. I mean, it's not my proudest work, but like I said, I'm kind of getting burnt out on drawing a bit. I really admire people who can just do one thing. To be honest, actually, I would be quite happy just doing one thing if that was just game design and a bit of development. Okay. I mean, what else do we expect to see on a Chris? I guess we would... So let's... I kind of just want to copy that. So we just do another wobble. Except we don't need that much. Oh, that's very wrong. Because it's not really... I mean, it can get big. I think getting big is fine. So yeah, let's let it get big. And it's quite easy to see the shape now. Go to the middle. And then we go 3 up, and then I just take the lid here. And like that, right? So we've just gone up a little step at a time. Oh, that's kind of less now. I don't know. I don't know. I'm relying on the art rather than the science, I guess. So we grow quite a bit, and then we grow a little bit. I guess we didn't need to grow that much on the first step, although maybe we did. We go out and then up and then... Okay, so that actually we can probably do something in between this one and this one. So if we make a new frame, put on some onion skin, and between this one, onion skin's confusing me, between this one and this one, there's one, right? So we go up here. Again, like, I'm kind of quite limited by the lack of pixel space, really. But I think we have successfully grown it piece by piece. It looks very gnarly. It doesn't look great. But the weapons sort of end up not really being the focus visually, I found. It's similar in Brotato, I think. You do kind of notice the weapons because it's just you that has them. But there's so many of these things on the field. Okay. And so we have it. The dagger actually does get wider in that case, but what I want to do is I think it's not tacky to give it some spikes. Just in black is fine. Yeah, I think this works nicely. That'll do. Again, we can do a big art overhaul at some point, but just for this version, like, all I want is to be able to like have it and show it, and it's also kind of design space. Like it's kind of running into some of the problems we might run into early on. So that if I did hand this over to an artist, that they would kind of know what to do with it. Okay, black bow. I'm afraid I am, again, just going to call this a reskin. Maybe I'm lazy, maybe I'm smart. Who knows? Depends how you look at it. Okay. But we can go a little bit different. So first off, we're going to take this color and we're going to make that this color. And then I guess we're going to need an even darker one, or reverse. Yeah, let's reverse. So the outside should be like that, and then we'll make a slightly brighter one. And then can we, not that color, but like just a bit brighter than that. Yeah, if it's a slight hint of blue, I think works well. Kind of want to see more of that, actually. No. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Okay. Let's make... We don't have a universal color for undead yet, but it is something like this. Well, we kind of do. So do we actually have this? And again, this might not be the final form, but we can... So that's 138222234. 138222234. That's a new color. What did I just do? Cancel that. New color. 138222224. Save. That's our like bright undead color. So again, we have to. Can I just, if I do it like this? For God's sake. Get rid of that. Does it have unsaved changes? And then this color here can be this color. I mean, just maybe not, but if we're just kind of doing a quick and dirty reskin job, I think that probably is correct. And then what could we do differently with a black bow? Again, with this level of detail, not a whole lot. I mean, you could gild it, you could, you know, let me just for inspiration, Sylvanas Windrunner bow. See, like hers is crazy, and I think so. It's got all of these spikes on it, which at this level of detail is just messy. I think, like it's just all over the place. Like I'm not saying that I think it's cool as hell, her bow, but I think especially for a tier 1 weapon, I don't think that's quite what we want. How does explosive arrow look? See, explosive, that's giant bow. Here's explosive bow. So actually explosive bow is kind of boring. So maybe we could do a bit more with that. But again, it's sort of subtle. Let's move on. We can come back to the bow. Icicle. We already have icicle. Lovely. Chain lightning. We already have chain lightning. Ah, I'm so clever sometimes. And then we want a staff of resurrection and a staff of command. Ah, and I already know what these look like because obviously it's a skull. So yeah, for the base staffs, they are just straight blocks, and we will just take this and double check. Yeah, so it's just this with a shape on the end. So what shape should be on the end of a staff of resurrection? Let me think. Should it be a skull? Maybe. Same white we used here. So it's not too bright, not too obnoxious. And I don't think we have space for shading. But if we did, let's just experiment. Not trying to be lazy. I'm just honestly like, do we actually even have space for a bit of shading? Does that just make it more distracting? Yeah, I think that's good. And so where do we go? So we have that, and then it's like the usual thing is we have the thing, and then we have like where do we go from here? Do we do like the multiple skull thing? I don't think so. This is the process for the other staffs. We kind of go big, and then we go there and we change the color, and then we kind of change the shape to something much more specific, which maybe is actually the thing to do. So we'll take, so that could be like tier 2, tier 3 and 4, but for tier 1 we would just have so that's ice, but what if we took like this shape? So this is like universal across all of the staffs, and then we took this color. Thing is, that just looks like an ice staff. What if we had that like, and the thing is green is so like blue, so ice and green is like resurrect, right? So I think this is fine. And then we take, and then so we do that again, but with the brighter outline. The same hue. And just give it the outline the same way we did with these ones. Because, you know, we're not trying to like it would be, I would like for gnarly looking weapons, but we are keeping it simple. And then tier 3 is the skull, and then tier 4 is the skull with the white, with that color of eye. Should it be this color? Yeah. And there we go. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. And then we've got one more, which is the Staff of Command. So that's another staff. And what color should this be? I think we can go with a kind of black, which sounds a bit crazy, but I think we can get away with it. Like, so it's a black staff. Again, like, we just do not have the pixel space to go too hard on these, you know? Yeah, and then another one where we have this outline. Oh, I have to grab it again. This color, please. Where we have this one. And then command. Oh, a hand. 100% a hand. So, like... I say hand, it's going to be a claw. With four fingers. Oh no, we can go wider than that. We don't need to. And then let's fill that in with this color. Except no, this goes here and this is empty. And then where do we go from here? Do we give it like fingernails? It's like, it's hard to tell what's even going on here, right? So yeah, let's go. It just looks weird. It looked better with just that. And I mean, nothing crazy. And then I can call, like, then we've done the first tier of weapons. Okay. And let's give all of these staffs the color that we gave this. So, because I don't see undead characters using living wood. Yeah. Okay. The demons' weapons, actually, now that I think about it, because the demons actually use three, like, so the elemental staffs are like, they're reused between factions. That's me being a little bit lazy, a little bit smart. Because what it means is actually the demons only have 5. Yeah, they've only got 7 weapons to do. And actually it's the same with the undead, because they start with 9 minus 2. There's only so there's only 7. So that's nice. We could have undead faction playable within the week. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, we could actually do that. And then we've got a lovely clickbait video, which is I adding undead to my game. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? Yeah. There we go. Okay. Does it look bony if I do this? No. Although maybe it still looks better. Actually, we should use this color. Yeah. I mean, it's not terribly clear, but with these kinds of games, it rarely is, right? Like, it will take people a second or two to be like, is that a hand? But then they'll figure it out. Yes, it's a hand. It happens all the time. Wouldn't be the first. Okay. God, yeah. Yeah, no, I need to stop drawing because it's killing my work ethic. I want to stop. I don't want to do it. I want to play Mugenics. Mugenics is so damn good. Like, the more I play it, the more I'm like, actually, this game is insanely good. Like, it's insanely good. The roguelite, the builds that you can make just by wrangling a few cats together, and then the promise of like, oh, but what if I actually got like a team of really good cats with proper good synergies? So yeah, it's really, really, really good game. Yeah, okay. So next up is the hardcore weapons. So Ice Greave. So you've seen... Should we get up the... let's bring up the orc weapons, green weapons. So you've seen Ice Greave. You've seen... yeah, Flame of the West. You've seen Skagnazg, the lightning sword. Now we need the frost sword. And yeah, actually the handle doesn't appear to change, although it does in this one. Hold on. Can I fix that? So the first one is the bog standard handle, and then we go yeah, it just looks marginally better, but again, sadly we don't have the level of detail to really like do much else with the handles. Like, there's not much detail we can add to the handles, so I don't think we should try so much. So we start with this, And then, so ice grieve is a little bit of a play on words, because ice is kind of like another word for frost, and grieve is kind of like another word for mourn. So ice grieve, frost mourn, ice grieve thirsts, right? Let's have a look at frost mourn, just for reference. Yeah, so it's an icy sword, but this is more runic, and so I'm gonna say ice sword. Yeah, so what we're looking for, so if this is like a flame shape and this is like a lightning shape, what we're looking for, so let's get that handle in, is a kind of ice shape. So it would be kind of crystalline in shape, right? So let's get black. And so I'll use the line tool to kind of get me my basic shape. And we're gonna go like, yeah, pretty high up on the thing. This is like the faction sword. Oh, and I keep thinking, well, you know what, I can do it and then I can flip it, because it just feels natural to me that this is the sharp edge. Not looking great. I'm not loving it. But let's give it color. So we want our same color as ice. So it would be this color, which is 1352. So I'm gonna get that. New color 135.229.255, and then another one which is 216.246.255. Okay. Not N, B, and then we'll take this color that we just made. And I'll just do this one with the pencil. And I'm just going to go ahead, and flip it. It looks wavy. It looks watery. Does it look icy though? Let's try again. So we'll copy that. And now that we've got the colors handy, it should be a bit easier to think about. So let's go. I think it just, because it looked wavy rather than jagged, right? So we want like, and it should be thick and wide. So if we go like shorter but sharper, and actually not too fat. So somehow that's too much. I don't like it. This one's actually okay. This one's actually okay. So comparing it to good old Skagnazg. Yeah. So we've got, this is just a lightning bolt. And this is just, so what we've ended up with is something that's more watery. But is that down to, like, I'm just looking, the one that jumps out from me here. So I've just typed in ice sword, is this one? But I think I've kind of got that across a bit. Like, it is hard to get ice from that shape. Oh, maybe it's to do with, like, crackling. So, like, maybe this makes it look more like ice. I think it does. I think that does kind of work, actually. Okay. I'm just going to take this and then undo. And then, so we've got tier 1, tier 2, and then tier 3. This color becomes... So I think actually the quickest thing is just to do that and then take this and copy it over. Except, did I forget to make a new layer? Make a copy of this layer. And first of all, I do actually want like that. Makes it more shapely, and then we copy this over and we take this color, we make that like that, and then we take this and we put that there. And then what we need to do is give it the like an ice effect, because this one ends up like looking like it gets the spike, so it really just looks like it's on fire. And then this one gets the lightning forks kind of coming off it, so it's like really like it's got the magic. So this one would need like little snowflakes. If we do like this shape, no, it would have to just be the little crosses. Does that work? And actually, did I once again? I forgot to make a new layer. There, okay. And this one doesn't. I'm not making it bigger like the other ones. The other ones kind of got like progressively bigger over time. I'm quite happy with it. Oh, and yeah, it needs to be flipped. And then there we go. Do the little crosses work? Yeah, I think they kind of do. Especially because like some of the undead have the cross eyes. Like it's just sort of come into being. I mean, they're supposed to be snowflakes, but at this like resolution, a cross is a snowflake. Yeah, no, actually, I don't like it. So yeah, let's delete this. I think what would look better is just fucking spikes. Yeah, so let's make them all nice little sort of triangles. Nice little isosceles. You can see how much thought and care goes into the art of this game. It's not a whole lot, but there is some. I don't know if that looks better. Does it? Does that look cool? Actually, I think it should be on the other side for some reason, right? Like, right? Yeah, I think that looks better actually. So it's not spiky, but it's spiky on. So you could use either side, but it's like someone's, like it's like the motion is frozen. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, all right, done. Not going to dwell on it too long. Literally 0 viewers today. What's wrong? Drawing weapons. I guess that's not a very nice title. That's fine. It's all for posterity more so than I'm not trying to develop a YouTube career. Okay, good. We have this. We have Ice Grieve, and I think it looks good. Next up is... Oh God, I'd be so proud of myself if I can get all of this, but I'm not sure I can make it. Like, chains. And so how does this work again? It would be like it's kind of going to work like chain lightning. So it's going to use the same effect. So chain lightning. So like the action. So the weapon itself, there's going to be a visual effect similar to the one in chain lightning, which I will need to draw as well. But there's going to be an effect that. Yeah, the chain is going to appear between each of the characters. So it's very much like chain lightning. It's just that it looks like a chain instead of lightning. So it should basically just look like a chain. So like I'm imagining you would have someone who's using a chain as a weapon. Let's see if I can get... Yeah, someone who's using a chain as a weapon would be like... I mean, it would be like a circle, right? But it would be like a ring of chains. And then you would have like multiple of them. But I think, again, just because of our resolution, we're just going to kind of have one. We're just going to have one ring of chains. So, yeah, like a loop. Just a loop of chains, kind of hanging out, like, and it's kind of cool. It's not going to be very like badass looking. I don't know. It would look badass, but it's not. It's not like epic. And should the chains? So there's So I think the chains have to be like each piece has to be thick enough to have like to be able to draw a texture on it. So it would have to be like that would be one link in the chain. then we go up, 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 2, up, up, 2. And then we take our iron color, maybe the brighter iron color, just so it's like easier to see. And then where are we going to go with this weapon? I mean, Jesus, like kind of deciding myself into a corner sometimes. So let's not worry about where we're going to go with it. Let's just have it. So we would take this. Like, I just want to get a tight grab of it, and then I'm just going to make a copy before I do this. And then it would just be like, I would just have to draw that there. And then it's kind of like they're chained up. So then we copy that. Okay. Yeah, that kind of works. And then we finish it. Yeah. Why does this feel wrong? Why does that feel wrong? Let's just... Don't know what's wrong with me. Okay, and then what we need to do is we need to turn. So can I take this and copy it over here, and I can rotate it? Yeah, but do we need a diagonal one? So how would a diagonal one look? Because again, it's pixel art. It's not quite so easy. So we do 2. And then we do 2 straight ones. And then we do 1, 2, 3. Maybe not, yeah, 4. Let's just, we can always shrink it. And then 2, and then 2, and then, no, 3, and then 3, and then 1, 2, 3. And then, like that. Yeah, I think that works. Right? And then this would be like, yes, overlapping slightly, but again, because we'd have a black line here. And then this one kind of thing. And then how do I make it look? do, then we go back to using these. And we put one. No, I think we have to, there's an intermediate step. So yeah, we'll rotate this again, and we'll just have one on its side. And I'm like, really, my visual IQ is failing me, because I'm like, how do I link these up? So I need to be like one in, and then this is coming over and then under, and then this is coming over here, so it should be unbroken, but the line should be here. And that, I feel like that's working now. That's kind of coming in and under that bit. And then we do our diagonal one. It's just so awkward to do. I mean, it would be more awkward to do it at a higher resolution, but it's still awkward to do it at this resolution. And then so this is coming over. Take it, paste it, and then this one is coming under. No, what's going on here? So this is kind of, yeah, so it would be like, yeah, that looks right. And then around, and then we take this one, and I kind of feel like yeah, that's okay. And then except I feel like this one's disappeared, so like it would be like this one's white, this one's black. Yeah. And then we do this whole thing again. I can probably just take this, paste it in here, rotate it twice, like that. Why does that look weird? I think it is wrong. It is wrong. Because this should be like this. No. So like this one comes over. So yeah, that is white. And then this one is black. Yeah. So let's do that again. White, white. Black, black. No. Oh god. My IQ, my visual IQ. So white, white. Then we go. No. Black, black. I've confused myself, but you know what? It doesn't look too bad, so let's just. Yeah. I kind of want this shape. That's really annoying now. Okay, this, and then we rotate that twice, and then we get that shape, and then this should hopefully make some kind of sense there, which it kind of does. And then actually, like that. And then that is what the weapon looks like. God, that probably was much harder for me to do than most people. And then I feel like what we can do is how can we like enhance this? How can we enhance this? So that's stage 1. We could add like little spikes. Like I could take this color, little icy spikes. We could make like every other one. That looks pretty gnarly. We could take like every other one. No, I think that's too difficult. I don't know what I'm doing here. I think this might have to be one of those weapons that doesn't really change very much. I mean, I think it's quite cool. I wouldn't complain about it too much. But then what do I know? And then yeah, same here. We're just kind of giving it some barbs. And then I guess we could like make the barbs stick out. It makes it look a bit more scary. Yeah, it's sort of, you know, that's an evolution, isn't it? And then the final phase could have some kind of, like, I don't know, like I'm thinking of some kind of undead outline. No, that just looks too gnarly. But this is just our way of like saying that the chain's like empowered somehow. Like with undead energy somehow. inside too. Kind of hypnotizing myself a little bit. Right, okay, yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I mean, you know, it look like a gnarly mess. That's fine. Okay. And what does that leave us with? Oh god, we're getting closer. Okay, gravestone. So someone is actually using a gravestone as a weapon. That's going to be your like heavy hitting hammer unit. So that'd be Scythe plus Staff of Resurrection. Scythe plus Staff of Resurrection. Could go in a completely different direction. Like gravestone, I'm kind of bored of that. Like, so someone's hitting them with a gravestone. The archetype is big, heavy, like knockback weapon. But I'm sort of thinking more along the lines of like a scythe covered in skulls. So like you would have a skull here at the top. In fact, this one should have like a spike on it, I feel. So yeah, this can start here. And then this one can have also a spike on the top. Let's do line tool. Yeah, so gravestone, and then the other one is Kusari, so it's Impaler plus Chris, so it will have that effect of like pulling enemies towards you. Think of like get over here scorpion weapon. So weapon. Yeah. So it's just like a sort of it's this. It's like a pronged knife on a chain. God, chain. I don't want to do any more chains. I guess it's going to be a rope. But I'm also thinking if I just type Kusari, that's actually like, I think it's a Kusari describes any weapon on a chain from the looks of things. Just like a weapon on the end of a chain. So what we're doing is like the idea is it's a knife on a rope. So we would do like a spindly bindly rope. Spindly bindly rope with, except on these characters, how would this look in this game? So like held at like ready, it would just be kind of dangling. So it would be like upside down. And then maybe we would actually put in like a different animation for it. And then we have Staff Resurrection, Staff of Command. Those are staffs. We kind of know how to do those. And then we've got a lantern, which is like a little nod to RuneScape, I think. Because, you know, I worked a bit on that game. A little bit, kind of. For 2.5 years. And so some kind of lantern. I mean, that's kind of straightforward. It would be a ranged attack. It would be a ranged beam attack. So it'd be a bit like Ice Beam. except it would probably do something else. I think all of these tier 2 weapons, a lot of them are going to do some kind of revive effect on anyone it kills. Not Ice Grieve, not Chains, but this Lantern probably would. It would mean that like if they die, they get resurrected. It would put like a debuff on them. Like Cursed means if you die, you're going to get reborn as an undead, which is cool. Kasari, Lantern, Ice Beam. Yeah, Ice Beam we have, Stormcloud we have, Staff of Resurrection, Super Staff of Command. Those are just enhanced versions of the staffs. That's the way it works with all the staffs. So really, Kasari, Gravestone, Lantern are like the last 3 bits that I have to do. I think what I should do, because I'm burnt out, I don't want to do this. I need to think about it. I need to think about Gravestone, because I think maybe it would be more cool just to have another scythe. I'm trying to think about how Gravestone actually, because I like the idea of someone like picking up a Gravestone and whacking it on the ground, but actually, that's not how it's going to look in this game. Like it's just going to be someone walking around with a grave. And it's just going to look like the gravestone that we already have, but smaller. Or a coffin. Or like a gun grave type situation. But so I'm going to change that, I think. So what I do is I take it and I pop it out. So yeah, it's gravestone. That's sitting out there. Kasari I do like, but I just need to think a bit about how to draw it here. Like how would it look on a character, and then how would it look attacking? Like, would I have to draw? Would this be the one weapon where the animation's actually a little bit different, or should I go in a completely different direction, which is those little scythes? So let's write that down. So we'll go little scythe. Can't type. Gravestone, little scythe. Don't really know, but I'm thinking like how many scythes is too many scythes for an undead faction? I don't know. I think I've always loved scythes. I just think they're cool. I don't know why. I think I'm not the only one. It's just like I guess it's a bit different. Lantern we keep. Lantern's good. That's quite straightforward to draw as well. We do just kind of like a cool looking lantern with like a skull in it that's going to shoot a beam, and the staffs are pretty straightforward. But am I changing this? Well, because it could be anything, right? But the point is that, and again, we have our archetypes. Just for anyone who I haven't explained this for yet. I mean, there's no one watching, but you know, someone might watch it after the fact. Yeah, we have our archetypes. And tier 2 always gets a bit more cloudy, but basically it's high range and AoE. That's what we're looking for. Knock back a high ranged AoE, low range crit, projectile, magic 1, magic 2, shield, heal, and then faction specific, which in the undead's case is nothing, because they're more about having lots of units. So like a mace. No one's really got a mace. We've got like Grond and the Chaos Hammer, but I think those are going to be like decidedly hammers. I'm thinking mace, actually. We've got what have we got here? Do we have Morningstar, or did I cut that? Yeah, we've got Morningstar, but like a mace in the style of like what does Sauron use in Lord of the Rings? Let's go mace and a little scythe, which kind of fills our, because yeah, Kasari was a fun idea, and it can still kind of functionally do that, and we can draw like a little suggestion of a rope, but I'm thinking realistically it's just going to be a thing that you whack people with unless I do another animation. And is it really worth me doing another animation for a single weapon? If I was doing that for all of them, then yeah, sure, but they just bonk people with it. And then lantern, but I'm burnt out. But also, as much as I'd like to play Mugenics, it is only 20 to 3. So I am going to go for a run. That's how you deal with burnout. When you don't want to do it, like if you really don't want to do something, don't do it. But do something productive. Do something that's going to give you energy in the long run. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. Thank you, anyone who watches after the fact, because literally no one joined during the stream. So yeah, I appreciate if you're watching after the fact, and yeah, hope you're enjoying the series. We're near the end. We're gonna have the game soon. All right, nice one. Cheers. Bye.